Welcome back. We're pleased to have as our guest this week Deb Brassfield, who is the president of Shop with Deb. Deb, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Gene.
Each week we talk with folks about business in our area, certainly Plano. And I was so intrigued by meeting the lady who has the shopping service that I had to get you on the air to talk to you about it. You've been in the business 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so give us a little background on Deb Brassfield.
Well, where the shopping service came from, at the time that I thought I invented it, I thought I was the only one in the world that thought of it. But as it was, it's something that's really an accepted form of saving time. It started in New York, probably, and California, but it's really caught on. More than 48% of the couples, working couples, both couples are working. So people don't have a lot of time to shop. They still are particular. They still want certain things that they would pick out, but they don't have the time to really invest in finding it themselves. And I was in the retail business for 12 years. So I really had just about every kind of position that you could have in retail. And as you elevate yourself in retail, you get further away from the customer. And that's really what I enjoyed, was the customer. And so that was kind of, that always kind of beat me in the head. And I always wanted to get back there, you know. And this is a way to do it. This is a way to still, without really being married to one store, being able to service a customer and finding exactly what she wants. And that's fun.
Are you commissioned by the store?
No, I'm not. I'm not attached to any store. There are stores. Some of the major department stores offer a service like that, a shopping service now, and that's wonderful. It's a really good service, and they usually don't charge for it, or it's a minimal fee, annual kind of thing. But you're tied to that store, so you have a criteria. Mm-hmm. Where I don't want any boundaries. I want the whole Dallas Metroplex, and so that's kind of fun. I get to just kind of scurry around and find whatever I want.
You've been in this business for 6 years,
mm-hmm.
3 years in Plano, you said?
Yes.
And 3 years ago, you came down from Illinois.
Yes.
And you came down for the cowboy experience, you said.
Yes, came down to get my hat and go to Gillies. Hated Houston. Got to Dallas, and we just went crazy. We just went absolutely crazy. The fashion here was so fantastic. There's never been anywhere, and as many places that I had been in retail, I had been in St. Paul, Minnesota, I'd been all over, but nowhere was like Dallas, and you could feel it. You could feel the pride. It was just, it's contagious. It's wonderful. And so we were really excited about it, saying that we would probably move here, and I went back up north and checked out all the paraphernalia and, you know, WWD, everything in fashion that would talk to you, and it all said, Dallas is the answer. Dallas is where fashion is happening. This is it. I said, that's wonderful. That's what I wanted to hear anyway.
Obviously.
And Plano is the most exciting part of North Dallas. North Dallas has got more retail per capita than anywhere in the country right now. And North Dallas can't go anywhere but to Plano. And Plano's a wonderful community. So I said, that's where I want to live. I had pictures of Plano. I had it all at my house. So we're living there.
I'm intrigued. Each week I get to visit with folks who are in business in Plano. Mm-hmm. And it's just so impressive to me because they talk about that they decided to relocate their business, some from, you know, East or West mm-hmm. Coast, and then they did their research, which is a good management technique. Certainly you have to study the market. Mm-hmm. And then they decided that the Dallas-Fort Worth area is the area. But then after researching it further, they decided that all roads point to Plano, as it were.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That is so exciting.
It really is exciting.
I just heard this week. Did you know that the city of Plano is, the current population is 110,000. They're predicting that by the year 2000, we'll have probably 250 to 260,000 citizens.
Yes.
Did you hear that they say that by the year 2025, the population will be 400,000.
No, I didn't hear that one.
Wow, that's a bunch of bodies that's coming here that's going to need to shop with Deb, or they're going to need grocery stores and all these things. We're concerned that apparently there are 3 times the stores in Plano as our population would justify. Mm-hmm. If you use that criteria alone that said, you know, our population of 110,000 can support X number of retailing outlets, mm-hmm. Then we would be 3 times over-stored. what you consider our market area and a draw, there's a lot of folks that feel like that we've overbuilt with retail, but apparently there's some folks who are here getting ready for the gold rush, the green.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you pick up the Dallas Yellow Pages, just covering the Metroplex, a women's listing alone will give you over 500 listings. Just in women's stores. We're not talking about department stores, men's stores, children's stores, shoe stores.
500.
Over 500 listings.
Okay,
A lot of
assume. Yeah, a lot of customers.
Yes.
All right, you're here in Plano, of course, but I believe you said that your business is about 50-50, 50% in the Plano, North Dallas area, and then 50% in Dallas proper. Are there other shopping service professionals like you?
Oh, yes, there are some. Some of them, and they all do their own method of operation. Some of them have just 4 stores that they deal with. Some of them have a percentage that they deal with. You know, like if you spend $200, I get so much of a percent of that. And, you know, they all have their own way of doing their business. And mine really is based on my own beliefs and what I think is fair. And that is really getting to know first your personality and understanding what you would buy if you were there. You know, really picking your brain completely. When I'm shopping, I want to think Gene Ramsay. I don't want to think, you know, Mr. Brown.
You
whatever.
poor lady. Gene Ramsay's colorblind.
It's easy to shop for you.
That's true. You just take it off the rack.
Yeah.
But now your fees are derived on an hourly basis. Not in pre-shopping, you said,
No.
but when you actually
That's
go
right.
and pick out the garment or whatever.
So I had a lady that was expecting, and she wanted to really have some fun clothes. She didn't want to be depressed this time. And so there was about 26 hours of pre-shopping, but in 2 days of about 4 hours each, we did her entire wardrobe. So she didn't have to think about one item the rest of her pregnancy. And every single item was impressive. It was all special and different and unique. And she felt good. And she called me after pregnancy, and she said, there wasn't a day that I didn't feel pretty. And she says, it was because of you.
Oh, that's
So that's
great.
neat.
Yeah.
That feedback is neat.
How many people do you shop for at the same time?
Oh, sometimes it's a few that I can do in one area. Sometimes it's just one that I'm concentrating on. If it's somebody, you know, one lady was going to Greece, and she needed me really to concentrate on her wardrobe because she was really against a deadline, and she didn't call me until about a week before. And so I really did. I just zeroed in and concentrated on hers that week.
Are these repeat customers? So I guess you have the
yes.
sizes.
Everybody that I've dealt with has dealt with me for the last 3 years. And they're very
says
happy.
a whole lot about Deb Brasfield.
It makes me happy. It's neat. It's neat to get the feedback and to get the calls and afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to do that. They don't, you know, but they do.
Do you catalog the person's likes and dislikes
yes.
and colors and sizes and stuff like that?
Yes. And that helps, too, because when her husband wants to buy a gift, much as he knows her, he doesn't know absolutely every single thing that she would pick out. And he just picks me. And she's happy, you know. It's exactly what she would have picked out. It's exactly what she wanted.
That's great. And you not only shop for clothing for maternity and you know, other styles like that, but you also do the fun things.
Oh, yes, I do gifts.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of thought that goes into a gift, you know, because you love someone enough to buy them a gift. And that really, you know, you want that to be very special and very customized to them. So I have to sit and really find out a lot about the person you're buying a gift for.
It's kind of a hollow experience, though. I mean, you're not there when the gift is open.
It's wonderful. No, it's wonderful. There's nothing hollow about my business at all, ever. I always feel very good about it. I'm about 80% correct when I have things on hold.
You certainly enjoy it.
I love it.
You are just so exuberant, and you get to do all the shopping that the ladies enjoy doing. And,
yeah, it's like a real challenge. You know, people sometimes misinterpret my business. Oh, every woman shops. Yeah, great, you're getting paid for it. But it's really, there's a science to it, and it's a lot more serious than somebody might anticipate. But at the same time, there's a lot of fun in it, you know. I've dressed thousands of women in my time, you know, through the different retail jobs and different parts of the country and whatnot. finding, I've dealt with ladies at Lane Bryant, larger ladies, because I'm not that size. I needed to understand how they think and what their problems are. They have unique problems, and a lot of people that don't have those problems may not really understand that.
We'll be back in just a second. Hold that thought, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a moment. The president of Shopping with Deb. It is shopping or shop with? Shop with. And what does your license plate say?
Shop for you.
Shop for you. You don't have a business location per se.
No, it's strictly by appointment.
And so the people get a hold of you.
They just have to call 867-3945.
You want to try that again?
I think I gave you the wrong number.
Okay.
867-3985.
Call the Chamber of Commerce.
Where am I? 867-3985. I was right the second time.
Okay. All right.
Never call me.
Okay, if I call you and I'd say, my wife has returned every gift I've ever given her, what do you do then? I mean, do you then go meet my wife?
Then we just try to get to know your wife.
Okay.
And we're pretty much on top of it.
That's fine. Do you ask me?
You won't have another one that she takes back.
Do you ask me all kinds of questions about what?
Yeah. And if I need to, I'll talk to her.
And I mean,
Unless
you go
it's
up
a
to her and
surprise.
say,
No, what do you like?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's right. Do you like blues or green?
Well, it's more than just colors. It's a feel for a personality, There's, like they try to stereotype people into prep and they, all these different little categories. But people really are very unique, and you can't put people in 4 categories. That's why I really don't categorize people into color categories in the same way that, some people do, because I really think that each person is very unique, and you have to really deal with each person as an individual. And I can't put you in a category of 4.
Okay. Well, a couple weeks ago we talked to a gentleman who was talking about, seasons of the year, and I think I'm drab gray. Hey, let's talk. You were talking about you dressed thousands of women. You've also dressed some cowboys for Gunslingers Ball.
Sure did.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that was wonderful. That was all of the gunslingers that had donated to the American Cancer Society. They had given 1,000 or more to that association for the ball.
Let me interrupt you just a second. That's the annual foundation effort for the Cancer Society.
Yes.
And it's out South Fork Ranch. And be you cowboy or not, you dress up as cowboy. And those that have made substantial contributions then are designated, I guess, as gunslingers.
That's right. That makes you a gunslinger.
And they get to...
They get their picture taken. They're on a poster.
In costume.
In costume. Some of them were very fun. I had a bank president here that his wife was a judge. Lovely people. And so she became a hangman judge, and he became a bank robber. And we had his head in a noose, and she was holding a gun on him. That was great.
Did you shop where? In McKinney or Dallas?
Well, for his, I actually got his at Shepler's Western Wear. I had, but there is several places nearby that I could have probably gotten the same thing.
And you didn't rent a
McKinney
costume for him, did you?
No, no. Now, she had a costume that had been handed down that she wore, and so I didn't dress her for that particular thing. But we had him decked out and everything from a bolo tie to hat and the whole bit.
I remember seeing that.
He looked like a bad guy.
Yeah, he really did. And then after it's all over with, he got to keep the costume for...
Well, he bought it, yeah.
For the next year,
yeah,
I guess.
That's right. He says he needed one anyway.
What about for formal events, things like that? Do you
Definitely.
select tuxedos?
That's fun. That's fun. I have selected, there's one lady that I've worked with, and she went to the Taka Ball, and she went to a couple of different galas that she really needed a special gown. And matter of fact, that same lady ended up pregnant later, and she was 2 months pregnant, and she was going to an evening function, and she said she had bought all these ball gowns before. She really didn't want to put a lot of money into this thing. She wanted it still to be a black tie, and but she wanted it to be versatile, to where maybe she could go out with a real elegant evening with her husband and still wear the same dress, rather than wear it once and maybe never wear it again. And so we put all those needs together, and she was a little bit expecting, but didn't want the maternity clothes yet. So we ended up with, she got a white Nippon dress that was a sheath. There was no waist to it, and just had like little rhinestone accents. The dress hung gorgeous. The tummy didn't show. She had the versatility of a street-length dress. It still went black tie. And she called, and I also had, because of the market during that time, I had studied the market, told her that everything was glitter and sequins. And I said, because of this evening being so big, everybody is going to be in glitter and sequins because there's so much on the racks, everybody's going to be buying it. And I said, therefore, you want to stay away from it to be a little bit unique and be yourself. And she called me the next day, and she couldn't rave enough. She said, I felt so special. I can't even tell you how many people stopped me and told me that I was just fabulous, and they wanted to know where I got the dress, and she says, I just felt like Cinderella.
Oh.
She says, you have changed my life. And she really said that. It was like, it's wonderful to hear things like that.
That's great. So, yeah, picking up on what you said, you study the market, and you go in the stores, obviously, and you know what's selling and what isn't, things like that. What other kind of research do you do?
Periodicals, everything on the fashion periodicals that come from New York and Europe and all that, as well as just the ones that you can get off the rack, Vogue and Bazaar and things like that, to where, people pick those up on a regular basis anyway, and try to take all that into consideration, and then at the same time not take it as law. I don't take anything as law.
Have you ever mismatched? I mean, someone that just really didn't work?
No, because I really try to do my homework first, because they're paying for my time the minute I pick them up. I mean, once we go, and I don't want to waste their time. So I make sure that I understand their personality right up front.
What is the hardest garment that you ever had to find for someone?
A size 1, out of season. She needed a gold walking short, and she needed something to match it. And it was a gold linen walking short, so it had to be something that would complement it. I found 4.
You found 4?
I don't give up.
What color was it?
The top?
Yeah, that you selected.
A couple of them had the gold linen in them.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
See, I would have purchased gray because gray goes with anything, right?
Really? In fact, things that are easy to find and things that go with anything. People think that a navy pair of slacks sounds like an easy item. Or a black pair of slacks. Sounds pretty easy. You just walk in a store and it's a basic item. That's one of the things that goes the fastest. And sometimes you can't find something that fits you in a style that you want in a basic color. It's one of the hardest things to find sometimes, depending, of course, on when you shop. Yeah.
Well, now, what if I were on a limited budget, which I am? My wife doesn't give me that much money, but do you shop for people when they say, I don't want to spend any more than...
What I do a lot with people that have a limited budget is, first I go through their wardrobe, and we try to salvage what is not worn out or something that they've never really worn, but they haven't faced up to the fact that they keep it in their closet because they just don't know what else to do with it. And so we make some major decisions there, and what we can build on and what we can eliminate, or at least move to another closet and get it out of your way. So in the morning it's not in the way when you're trying to really make a decision. And then we build on that. And you can still intelligently build on a wardrobe. You don't need a fortune. Although, a lot of my clients, price is not really an object. A look is important to them, and time is important to them.
Do you shop for business attire?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Business suits and things like that.
Definitely.
What are the colors and the fabrics this season?
That's a good question.
I mean,
It has varied so much. It would depend on, my answer on that would be the type of personality that I'm dealing with, because the fabrics that I would sell you or show you, I might not be showing someone else. I've got some customers that go to European styles, and they really get kind of flamboyant. The man might have the big oversized padded shoulders, and he might have the long jacket and the tapered pants, where somebody at EDS might want something in a very conservative style.
Yes, ma'am.
So it kind of depends on their needs and their personality. I don't have a down pat answer to anybody because I'm not going to take a lady that's very conservative in her dress and tell her, hey, purple and plaids are in this year and you've got to buy at least 3 of them. Because she doesn't be wasting her money. It's not her. And I don't care if Paris said that it was a good idea. It doesn't mean it's a good idea for her to go out and purchase it and put it in her wardrobe. She's not going to be comfortable in it. She needs to look good and feel good.
There you go. We'll be back in just a moment. Be back. We're back with Deb Bradfield. Deb, tell us your phone number.
867-3985.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Reliable sources told me.
We prompted her during the commercial. In addition to consulting and shopping and things like that, you also write a column, I understand. Tell us about that.
I write the fashion column in the Plano Profile. Probably the most exciting paper in Plano. I love it. It's a really unique paper. It's treated more like a magazine. It's a monthly. And we have been dressing a celebrity in Plano a month, and then I write something about what's going on currently and whatnot.
And it's going to be a magazine, by the way. Did you know that? They're changing
Yes, I do know that.
Okay. So I would just add a little tidbit here.
Didn't know if the word was out.
Yeah. Well, by the time that folks hear this, then perhaps it will be
It's
either
going to be
that
pretty,
or
too.
the owners of the Profile will probably come talk to me about letting out a
you'll be in a
secret.
lot of trouble, see?
I probably will be. I've been before. You have given free demonstrations and lectures and things like that. Collin Creek Mall, I believe you said, during Christmas time?
Yes, last Christmas.
And
several of the stores sent people up, and we had a neat little workshop.
that's fine. How long was your instruction?
You mean each one?
Yeah. I mean, was it an 8-hour course or?
It was a 4-week course, but each one was separately.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it was 4. I offered it 4 times, but it was the exact same one. So that all of them, because salespeople have a hard time getting their schedules. This was 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday during their Christmas season. But it was good timing in the fact that it got them pumped up and ready for the day.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to leave. I want you to know it has been a pleasure to visit with you this week.
The pleasure was mine.
And now is the time for the opportunity to give us a small commercial. Tell us about Deb.
Well, shopping with Deb probably saves people more time and frees their time up for something that they'd really rather do.
And if someone wants to contact you, they dial you at what phone number?
867-3985.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to end the show right now. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ends Business Profiles. We'll see you next week.